Buenas, Juan. ¿Cómo estamos? How are you doing, Juan? Well. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Let's continue with our Chaos Champion Space Marine. Juan, how is going with the timings? No pressure, by the way. Me, I'm doing fine. I'm just extremely tired. I had a very rough night yesterday, so I didn't sleep much. So I'm not on my best today. But aside from that, I'm good. So now I'm doing like a little bit of add some details on the character. Something that might speak usually that he's a word better. One, I have done the half of the first episode today. Nice. Thanks a lot, man. Once again, I cannot say I cannot praise enough and thank you enough for your help. For those that you are wondering, Juan was kind enough to give a hand making the subtitles in Spanish for the tutorial of how to paint Space Marines. So he's working on that at this moment, and I'm extremely thankful, man. Muchas gracias. I'm also happy because I had a very busy period with work until this weekend. Had a lot of work, a little bit too much, so it's been very tiring. But now I'm done, so I feel fantastic, and now I will be able to give a push into preparing the Patreon. So big announcement, I will be starting my Patreon pretty soon. and I'm very, very excited. Probably it's not gonna do very well. I don't have my hopes high, but still, it's something that I need to do anyway. So yeah, so I'm trying to work on preparing the Patreon at this moment, because now the tutorials are done, so just waiting for Juan to be done with the subtitles. No pressure, Juan. But that is fantastic, because like this I have time to do all the important things, and yeah, so I'm very very happy that I'm not that crazy busy with work. I just have normal amount of work now, so don't get me wrong. I'm not in anything like a vacation whatsoever. I'm still now it's just not crazy. Which, by the way, it was because I had plenty of illustrations to do for Games Workshop, as a matter of fact. Of course, I cannot say anything about what was it, but yeah, it was some work for Games Workshop on top of other things. But yeah, it was a little bit too much. But now I'm free, and finally, after so many years, now I will be able to finally jump into my projects, and with some help with Patreon, yeah, I will be able to spend some quality time making that happen and a reality, which is fantastic. Orion, are you painting that fast? Well, I don't know what you mean. I'm not that fast. But I would say that speed is not, or shouldn't be, something that important. The most important thing is the result. And if it takes longer, it takes longer. I think speed is it's overrated. And I am of the opinion that actually things should take longer in general. The problem I need to be careful with adding details is that I get caught into details and start to lose the overall vision for the character. It is very, very easy just to lose track, and volumes start to lose shape, and yeah, at least it happens to me, so I need to be careful with that. But yeah, going back to my project and Patreon, man, it's so much work to prepare Patreon. I mean, of course, I could just do whatever and just start with it, right? But that would be bad. So, yeah, there's a lot of work involved, more than one could assume. Lots of planning, a lot of thinking, what to do with it, how to organize it and plan what you're going to be doing. And also create a lot of content as well, to have it well presented. Also, I'm planning to do a video, like a introductory video for the Patreon, which, yeah, it's quite challenging, I have to say. So I'm just writing ideas of for the video at this point, so I haven't done much, but yeah, it's a lot of work. Also, I have so little material for my project, that I need to create some extra stuff to have something to show. So not everything is just words, right? Because everything it's fantastic when you just talk, but people need to have something tangible, of what it's the project about. And yeah, so I'm, for example, now starting to work on a mood concept illustration, just to give a glimpse of one defining iconic moment that could help to establish a little bit what is everything about. It's like some sort of key frame illustration, something like that. Hey Pontus, how are you? Thanks, man. Yeah, like this, it's looking okay. I like it too. All right, so we decided that he was going to carry plenty of skulls as trophies, as like some sort of, he's obsessed carrying skulls of saints, or allegedly holy people from the imperial cult, like cardinals, saints, priests, how are they called, the preachers, inquisitors. Sisters of Battle, of course. And of course, I mean, there should be some Space Marine skulls as well. Juan, yeah, no pressure, man. Yeah, don't worry. I know it's a lot of work, so take your time. As much as you need. Sensational. Hi, thanks for the stream. How do you go from amateur to professional? Well, welcome to the stream, first of all. Thank you. And well, this is a pretty general question. Well, I would say by having discipline, because yeah, I mean, you need to have good discipline and work ethics to become a professional, of course. You have to paint and draw and be creative, not just when you feel like, but every time. Yeah, so keep the passion for it, and continue practicing if you still don't have the technical level, and keep grinding, because it is a grind, and it takes time no matter what. So it just one key thing is to be persistent, keep working, studying, practicing, and be patient, and embrace that grind and frustration. That's because sometimes it takes or it feels that it takes too long. Don't get discouraged, because it's part of the journey, and we all have gone through it. And and once you become a professional, that journey it doesn't stop. You keep improving and learning and becoming better. So it just, now I'm a professional, but how can I be a better professional? And it's non-stop. So just embrace that journey, and go ahead, and yeah, keep the grind, enjoy it, and don't lose faith, and be patient. That's like in very general terms what I can say without knowing more. But yeah, one important thing is don't be discouraged. Even if you get the feeling that you fail, or that it's taking too long, or that other people are getting jobs and you don't get discouraged. It's just a matter of time. Sooner, if you keep working and working clever, and you will get there. So there is no secret. I mean, all these things that I'm saying that might sound like Captain Obvious, the truth of the matter is that there is no magical or secret recipe for it, in these, once again, very general terms. As boring as it might sound, And as unhelpful it might sound, I don't know, but that is the truth. That's what it takes. Of course, if you have more specific questions or context for that question, just say it, and I will try my best to answer accordingly. Need to be so many skulls. I mean, he could be a devotee of corn, perhaps. That could be a very nice way to tie everything together. Lucius, hello man, welcome. Like always, how are you doing? Have you thought more on the fate of this unlucky word bearer? You know, I haven't. I have not. I mean, sorry that I repeated myself like a broken record, but thing is that I'm so busy all the time that I have such a little amount of creative juice on me for these things, so I haven't dedicated any thoughts to it until just now. But some of the ideas that you guys mentioned last week were pretty good. And even if some, maybe not all for him, but for later characters as well. I forgot to record. these two are too similar. So just to break it slightly, can make this one looking up a little. Sensational. Thanks for the advice. I find really helpful to hear that. Okay, man. I'm happy to hear that back. Again, it was a very general answer, but yeah, I cannot state enough how much you need to just embrace that frustration and grind, because it's the same for everybody. It's part of the journey. It's part of the life of an artist, and it is gonna be there forever until you die. I mean, no matter how great painter or artist you think of, they are all the time struggling to some way or another with their art. Trying to improve, and so it's like, I don't know if I put this metaphor that you want to reach this cliff, and that's the highest point in your path, and you think there is nothing beyond that. It's just like that's the highest that you can aspire to reach. But the thing is, when you reach that point, you see that there is a higher cliff behind. There is a new goal to go, and it's gonna be arduous. It's gonna be a long path, and it's gonna be painful and frustrating at times. But once you get there, there's another one behind, and that is forever. So somebody negative would say that that's bad, but I think that is actually because it's always, you are never satisfied. You are never in a how do you say, comfortable position. But I would say that is actually the opposite. Is actually fantastic, because you are always learning, always improving. There is no roof. It's a continuous improvement, and of course that can be in terms of technical skills, artistic skills, technically speaking, but there is part of it is also as an artist, and your vision, and the things that you find important and interesting to talk about or express through your art, or how you do it. So there is so many different angles to this. I'm thinking that not all these skulls should be completely clean bone, but maybe some of these heads could be kind of half rotten flesh, right? So they are a little bit fresher cut heads. I need to be careful that these skulls don't. They need to be smaller than his head. Right. It's They are supposed to be normal people after all. And as you will see on the tutorial of how to paint Space Marines, yeah, Space Marines are bigger, and that needs to be shown on your illustration. So if you put skulls on the Space Marine that are supposed to be people, they need to be smaller. Unless, of course, it's another Space Marine. Of course. I mean, this guy here, this could be half rotten face, head. So yeah, going back to the the, uh, the artist journey, I think it is important, yeah, that aspect of embracing the frustration and pain, because it's always going to be there in one way or another. Not all the time, of course, but it will never go away. So it's better to learn to live with it and accept it, and learn how to just trying to ignore and lie to yourself that that you can make it go away, or that you can reach a point where that's never gonna happen. And too big. Harry's. Hey guys, nice to be here. Hello, man. Welcome. How are you doing? Welcome back. David Pa. Hey, Miguel. Tienes la chimenea encendida, ¿no? Yes, I do. And welcome, like always. Yes. My digital chimney. It's lit. Also today I started today started the new term of my class at CGMA, narrative, illustration, and characters, and I'm super happy. So always quite interesting. I've been doing this for quite some time now, and I every single time the first class, the first day, I'm always so nervous to meet the students. I don't know why. But yeah, it's a great great thing. So yeah, happy. As a chalet, based on your skills, which are awesome, by the way. Well, thank you. Not sure, but thank you anyway. How do you determine you have succeeded at an artwork? Well, that is actually pretty simple. Of course, there is the technical aspect, right? If there are certain errors, certain things that are not correct, those are easy to spot, right? Perspective is wrong, or there is something strange, or some readability issues, or something of that kind. So those are relatively easy. Then, and the most important aspect is that is the image or the character, the illustration, whatever that I'm doing, is it achieving what I set myself to on the very beginning? If it does, then it is done. Regardless of how much I could push it and continue working on it, there's always a point where you need to know just to leave it. It's good to aim for perfection, but to a certain degree, and yeah. So for example, I myself, I'm extremely critical with my own work. I I'm my worst critique, in the sense that I'm very brutal with my own work. But at the same time, I need to also accept that I cannot do everything perfect, and sometimes I need just to let it go and move forward if there are certain minimums that are achieved. So yeah. And of course, everything is very relative to the context and the situation you are at and what you are specifically doing, and yeah. But that of course just comes with experience, which gives you certain level of confidence into knowing, okay, this is just fine. Or it is not, and I need to continue working on it. Another aspect of it, I think, is to not to be afraid to tear apart your work if it's not achieving what you wanted, regardless of that. Oh yeah, but I really like this head, and just because I like it a lot, I just want to keep it. But if it doesn't help to achieve the goal that you set yourself for the image, you need to be perfectly fine just to erase and start new or fresh, or yeah. So don't you need to learn to and you need to be able to murder your darlings. Sounds horrible, but but yeah. Think this guy here needs to be freshly cut as well. Jenna Tools, what's up? Sensational. Learn to stay with pain is one of the most useful things that you can aim to achieve. So 100% agree with that. Good. I mean, it's just, it's not that, I mean, the pain is good. And it's just that as artists, it's part of the artist journey to be frustrated because you don't manage to get that thing that you are trying to represent or anything. So it just, and sometimes you have good days and everything is so awesome, and sometimes it's just horrible and you are not, nothing happened the way you want, and it's just accept it. Is that okay? It's fine. It's okay to that today I suck and nothing, and I managed to do nothing. It is fine. Tomorrow will be another day, and I will manage. And just to be fine with it, because it is what it is. Sometimes it's that. Jen Atul, what do you think was the most difficult piece you have worked on, and why do you think it was difficult to take it? What do you mean by piece? You mean a specific illustration or artwork or project? Let's see, where am I? Jaime Dávila. Hola Miguel, ¿cuánto tiempo sin meterme en tu directo? How is life and family going? Jaime, welcome back. A pleasure to have you back. Everything is fine. Thanks a lot. Busy as a bee. with work, with the family, with the little one. So everything is good. Everything is good. How about you? How are you doing, man? So going back to the Patreon and my personal projects, now I need to see and plan for when I'm launching it. I shouldn't wait too long, though. But I still need to prepare plenty of things before I launch it. So. Yeah, I'm itching, and I have some so many great plans, and I'm dying to show things about my project as well. Which, if you haven't heard anything, it's basically a very, very dark, grim, gritty, mature, and epic science fiction universe that it's developed around the theme of space pirates and real pirates. No sugar coating and not the image of pop culture that we have about pirates, but nasty people that do nasty acts of violence, and in a context that is very grim. And I've been doing a lot of research these past years to ground it as much as I can into real piracy and real historical events. So it feels grounded and believable and plausible. So I wanted to feel real in that sense, even though it's science fiction. This guy, he loves his skulls, his heads. And yeah, I think it makes totally sense that he is a devotee of corn, or that corn has certain predilection for him. Uh, I will be, I mean, I would have to spend some time to explain about my Patreon. So I'm thinking before I make the official launch, I would have to host, or I would like at least to host maybe a live stream where I explain and do like a live pitch for the for the project and what I'm trying to achieve and what are the aims. Of course, I would need to have something to show there. That's the thing. So need to be done. I mean, I still have some material, but it's very old and much of exploration. At least that should have this mood piece that I'm working on at the moment, and with some of the material, few things that I have already, maybe that's enough. I mean, I'm not gonna show everything I have, obviously, because then what's the point of having a Patreon? So, of course, my intention is that I will be sharing the development of the project with the Patreons only and exclusively. So I would, if I do this pitch stream just to explain the project and everything, that's gonna be the only time, mostly, that I will be showing anything outside Patreon. Everything else will be just for Patreons, except for one thing that I'm planning for later on. I'm trying to do like some kind of small narrative mood video, or like some kind of animatic, at least for now, just to sell the idea as well for newcomers. But aside from that, everything will be exclusively shared with only Patreons. And yeah, one of the things why I'm so excited is, like, of course, I believe in this project, that it's awesome, and I've been doing this as a professional my entire life, right? Helping others to build multi-billion franchises and IPs with my skills, and just doing for other people. So I know how to. It's part of my professional expertise, right? World building and creating new IPs. So I cannot wait to start working on my thing and not just trying to make possible and reality the vision and dreams of others, but mine. And not caring about anything else, but just that it feels right to me, and yeah, a way to express those things that I like, and I like it dark and grim and gritty and epic and violent, but not mindless violence. Everything with a narrative purpose, but still violent. These look too much like a skull. You need to, I mean, I've been doing so many skulls around his armor. You need, now I want to add like demon elements, not skulls. Let's see. I mean, autopilot. Arnaud, or Arnaud. Hey there, just passing by to say you keep the grim dark to that old 40k universe. That is very nice to see. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yes, it is important. I think we need to keep the grim dark as dark and grim as possible, because yeah, I fear that game. I fear which I have no idea, but my biggest fear is that Games Workshop try to go to mainstream, and that would mean just to make things less grim and dark. So I think it is important just to keep it. I don't know what I'm doing. I liked it that, yeah, it is kind of carved. So Ashasley, murder your darling sounds like something the Imperium does on an hourly basis. Yes, that is very true. Genotop project. All right, so about a project that was very, very challenging. I would say that the most challenging project that I've been working on is the Division. And I have worked in many challenging ones, but I think the most challenging one was the Division, for many reasons. Creative reasons, because what we wanted to do wasn't easy, but also because of a lot of internal issues during the creation of the game and the IP. A lot of issues with the creative direction they had. Yeah, they had no idea what they wanted, and they didn't let us, the experts, the professionals in this area, just to do our work. So it was a big struggle, and a long one, and a lot of people in high management positions and creative direction that had no idea, and art directors and stuff like that. They had absolutely no clue of what they were doing. So it was extremely, extremely challenging. So because of those two reasons, creatively, because it wasn't easy what we were trying to achieve, and also because of all the challenges that comes with development within a big studio. So yeah, the Division. I mean, you wouldn't believe, I mean, the high amount of talents there is in the industry, but equally the high level of incompetence and ignorance there is in the industry as well. So yeah, it is quite remarkable. Many times projects manage to happen and release despite the level of incompetence there is in some places, and that thanks to the big talents there is on those teams as well. So the thing is that if the people with talent would be able to work free, I can assure you there would be absolutely amazing games, especially on the AAA level. But that's rare because there is a lot of incompetence and ignorance, And there was quite a lot of that at the division, and yeah. Still had great fun, and I learned quite a lot. So it's not at all bad at all. But yeah, to your question, yeah, the most challenging and difficult project I have worked with, and because it took a very long time as well. That's also something that people don't understand or realize, that create a completely new IP from zero on a AAA game. It's not an easy thing to do, and it takes many years of hard work. Jaime Davila, pretty well. I have got my first job in the video game industry as a 3D character artist in a AAA outsourcing studio. Nice, man. Congrats. That deserves a round of applause for you. Yeah. Man, congrats. That's fantastic. What is the studio? May I ask? Shouldn't be secret, right? What is the studio? It is in Spain. I'm guessing. Is it in Valencia, perhaps? Also, right now, I'm continuing a painting of a plague marine while watching yours. Nice. Oh, man, I love painting plague marines. They are so fun. Avirus, very cool art. You are a great artist. Thanks, man. That's very kind of you to say. Thank you. I think we need to start adding the parchments and stuff like that, right? And inscriptions and I mean, after all, he's a word bearer. Parchments filled with corrupt and heretic inscriptions, right? Uh, do you guys remember how is this element on the armor called on a medieval European armor? A little bit of a quiz. Come on, guys. What's the word? What's the name for this part of the of the armor that I'm painting now? Of course, I mean the it's like a version for Space Marines, but yeah, it is inspired on the real thing. Ah, well, of course, Juan. I'm asking in English, of course. Yeah, not in Spanish, I'm afraid. And no googling allowed. I mean, we talked about it a stream some time ago when I was painting the Mr. Cavill Space Marine, which, by the way, I need to finish it and try to contact him. Again, you see, I have so many things on my plate. I mean, to be fair, it's 99% done. It's just some few things. But yeah, this part, a little clue. This part of the armor is, I mean, on the original European medieval armor, is designed to kind of protect the armpits. Because when you raise your arm, it opens a gap between the cuirass and the shoulder pad. So this is there just to fill that gap. And the classic shape is round, but of course through the time there have been plenty of designs with different shapes. I'm struggling the hell out of it with this one here. Goodness. I had it and I lost it. All right, so nobody guessed. So it's called in English Besague. And yeah, I have to say that I mean, I don't know how many of you want to work as concept artists, but I would say that of course, depending on what type of projects you are going to be working, etc., but I mean, medieval styled armors or inspired on medieval armor is quite a common subject among video games and characters designs, etc., right? And if you want to be a good concept artist, and this kind of touch into the question that was being asked before about what you need to do to from to become a professional from being an amateur. Is that you need to learn and you need to do research into the subject that you are going to be working on. So as a professional, just painting and drawing things for the sake of looking cool, it cannot be. So let's say that you are going to be working on a fantasy type of game, like medieval style, and with I don't know, like some sort of dark soul, or I don't know, anything. You as a designer, as a concept artist, you have to know at the very least the basics of how medieval armor, whatever the period is, actually works, and what are the different elements and what they were used for. So there's a functionality. It's not about aesthetics only, but actually that to make things believable and plausible. And the way to do that is just by actually trying to design an armor that can work. And it can be crazy looking. It doesn't matter, but at least it needs to be on a very basic level, working with the principles of designs of an armor that actually works, and not just with stupid shapes and things that would make it silly, as it happens with a lot of tropes in fantasy character designs. And that's what makes the difference between silly and not believable designs and the ones that are good. So if I'm asking things of this kind, and your aim and goal is to become a professional concept artist, well, I'm not saying that you have to, because it might happen that you never work in anything related with medieval armors or fantasy or anything. But if it happens, those are the type of things that you need to know, at least on a very basic level. I'm not saying that you need to study it if you don't want to or don't have the time, but at least to acknowledge and have a basic understanding. So if I'm putting these elements in a medieval armor or anything, I'm just not putting it because I'm just copying. I just randomly search on Google knight armor, and it happens that one has this element or this other one, and I think, oh, this looks very cool, I'm just gonna put it, because the result is gonna be a bad design, and that is gonna fall apart. And sure, it might work for the project, but still it's gonna be a design that looks silly. And yeah. So yes, people, do your research, spend time learning what you're gonna be doing. And yeah, it is, I don't know, I'm just talking about this because it just remind me the thing with the name of this element. But there is so much crap out there in terms of fantasy design, like weapons and swords that are silly beyond, yeah, because they will be more likely to kill the person that is using that sword than the one that they are supposed to kill. And the same thing with armors that would be like a death trap. and things of that kind. And yes, of course, I mean, sometimes in certain projects, the fantasy element or the crazy design elements are going to be more prominent than in other cases, and that is fine. But at least there needs to be a foundation, a base that kind of hints at the functionality to a certain extent. I'm spending too much time on these damn base like you here, right? Just sometimes it's happening, and it's because I'm trying to. Yeah, there you go. Supposed to be in shadow, so yeah, we had the parchments that I completely ignored. Let's see, let's put this in another layer. We erased these here. Oh yeah, here he's small. He should be littered with parchments, I think. And somewhere I need to add some I should add some detail that hints at corn, right? Some symbol of corn. I mean, he's not completely devoted. I think that that would be the idea, that he's not 100% devoted to corn, but he is leaning towards. So maybe if it wouldn't happen that he's gonna die, we are gonna kill him in the most in the most silly way or anticlimactic way, he would potentially become a champion of corn, perhaps. Look at him. He feels so proud and full of himself. He's gonna achieve so many things in the name of the dark gods. Little does he know that he is gonna be... How many ridiculous deaths we came up with last stream? He's gonna be crushed by a tank or a titan and just become as a stain of blood on the floor, or follow, or not that a ship just falls and crash on him on the battlefield or something like that. was thinking maybe here is the place to hint at this symbol of corn. Not the main one, but one of the other symbols. This one. You know, right? So the main symbol of corn is this one. But he has this other one that is, yeah. Probably, as it is, feels a little bit too subtle, but actually I like how it looks. Like hinting that the curious it's has different materials. It's kind of neat. Dash 4049. Hey Miguel, finally got your stream. My first time here. All right, Dash, that's fantastic. Welcome. Glad to have you here. How are you doing? Jaime Davila, please tell us more or improvise about the lore of this heretic. Well, I'm just making it on the go, right? So again, he's supposed to be a word bearer. The idea is that he must be. I mean, the idea of pride, of hubris, has to be big. He's supposed to be a big fish. He has a great destiny to fulfill in the name of the dark gods, etc., etc. And and it's not. And the idea is that it is not actually bullshit. He's a champion. Has accomplished. He's a mighty warrior, right? That's the idea. He's still very dangerous and very accomplished champion of chaos. But the galaxy, the universe doesn't care, and it is not going to grant him any grand destiny or epic final stand against a hero, or he's gonna die in a very, very anticlimactic way without accomplishing anything that he thought he was born to do. And for that matter, even the gods, I mean, who knows? I mean, of course, we will never explain that. Maybe it's the dark gods playing with him as a puppet, or it's just the nature of the universe showing its true face and just showing us that all our grand tales of glory and grandiose accomplishments and everything is just constructs. It's just made up narratives for us to make sense of the universe. But the universe is not cruel, it's not beautiful, it is not wise. It just is, and it doesn't care about anything. Not even a mighty champion of chaos with the gods backing him. So he would have conquer worlds. Tata Charlie, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. He would have conquered worlds and defeated armies of the Emperor, right? He would have defeated single-handed in single combats, like heroes of the Empire, like Space Marines and the like. He would have been part of the legions when they assaulted the Emperor Palace. He's that old and mighty. I mean, that's kind of the idea, that he's truly great. He might be one of the dark apostles of the word bearers. He might even be granted the being elevated to Demon Prince, just if he accomplished one single task. He will never manage. Thanks, Dash. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you, man. Charlie, I thought you spoke Spanish, man. Excuse the confusion at first. You have a great Spanish name, I guess you meant. That's why. Yes, exactly. Well, Charlie, no estabas descaminado, porque sí, soy español y hablo español, sí. Pero el asunto es que hay muchísima gente en el stream que no, y parte de la comunidad que no son españoles y no hablan español, y el idioma en común es el inglés, así que por eso hablo en el stream en inglés, por eso. Así que si no te importa, pues voy a seguir en inglés. Pero bienvenido una vez más. Jaime Davila. Poor guy. Maybe the dark gods grant him immortality in the last moment and he becomes a demon prince. Oh, no, 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 no. He needs to go for good. And you need to be on the most sour possible way. In a way that is not what's the word? That doesn't make justice to who he is. That is not fair. That he's, at least if he goes, he's supposed to go in a grand way, an epic way, as the mighty lord that he is. But he will not. That's the point. That's the point of this whole series, just to make it very grim in that regard. Frederic, hey Mel, how are you? Hello man. Good, good. And I haven't forgot about you. Sorry that I've been radio silent, but yeah, I've been super busy lately. But now I'm better. So it's yeah. I will get back to you. I thought about, yeah, let's see, let's play a little bit with that idea, like some sort of horns. So, well, I think he's shaping pretty nicely. As I mentioned on the very beginning, my aim is not to kind of push the whole illustration. Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe I really enjoy and continue, but not to get crazy detail and polish. So I prefer just to keep it kind of on the rough edge, and still, I mean, need more work to be done, but yeah, I think it's shaping very nicely. Would be nice to imagine him with some helmet as well. What would it look like? Let's see. mean, just for the fun. With big horns. Like these are more classic Chaos Space Marine horns. So yeah, this kind of more classic um, Chaos Marine horns. Or maybe that could be the way to hint about certain leaning towards corn. Perhaps it's a little bit cornish, or however you say it. But still, that design, it's more of the world eaters. Right, that distinctive helmet design. I mean, even though they put like corn berserks, but lord-wise, the ones that are supposed to have this kind of design, they are originally from the world eaters, right? So that wouldn't make too much sense if he's supposed to be word bearer. But yeah, I prefer without the helmet. It's more expressive anyway. Tempalar, I like to know how you do this without line art. Well, pretty simple, but just by how do you say, working more with stains, so to speak. I'm more painting than drawing, and I mean, as you can see, I still do some guiding drawing as well, right? Just to help me with the construction or certain things, but yes, it's yeah, I don't need to draw these. I just paint directly. So Charlie, hey, all right. Frederic, don't worry about that. I'm good. Live is good. Okay, good. But again, I will get back to you. Dash 49. Those windows sounds. LOL. I'm drawing while watching the stream, and I keep thinking it's me. Ah, yeah. Sorry. Yes. Sorry for the troll. Lucius, maybe on the way to battle he falls into a sinking mud pit, slowly taking him underground to where he suffocates. Yeah, that could be one way to go. I think that reminds me of one main character of the Horus Heresy books on the miniseries of the Siege of Terra. There is one of the more spoiler alerts. One of the Mournival, one of the main characters of the captains or of the Sons of Horus, he dies in a similar way, which feels so good because he's I don't like him. Similar, I think he gets not with mud, but he just I think he gets covered by rubble or something like that. That's a Charlie. No previous line art? No. I mean, you can see the previous streams. You can see the whole process, and no line art. Arcvane, loving the overall shape, design, and repetition of this piece. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. Thank you. Again, as I said, I'm liking it as well. That is a pretty rare thing on me that I'm dissatisfied with something. So yeah, but nice to hear. Jaime Davila, imagine this mighty champion who fought in the Horus Heresy taken down by a missed last gun shot into the eye socket from a scared garment pooping his pants. Yeah, that would be definitely a possible way to die, right? Unlikely, but possible. So yeah, I would love, yeah, that would be great. By the way, have you seen the new Chaos Space Marine Codex score by Lewis Johnson? No, I have not. I've been in my little cave and I haven't seen anything, but yeah, being from him, I'm certain it's gonna be mind-blowing. Yeah, I will actually go and check it after the stream because I love his work. So yes. Frederic, the captain of the Monomal is Garviel Loken. That's it. Well, he was originally one of them, but there are several of them. It's like the council of Horus, counselors, you could say. I think the guy that I was talking about is called Little Horus. I think that's the character. Juan Toledano, I prefer also to paint without previous line art. I think it's the same for most of people that have learned more traditional and academic way of painting. Could be. Could be. I mean, especially at least to me, it makes even more sense in digital art when everything is so easy and it's so easily to cover or correct mistakes on the way. So yeah. Joe Wei Lee, what brush are you using for painting? I'm trying to find the right all-purpose brush that isn't the round brush. Well, it is one that I made myself. I designed it myself. If you are interested, I made a tutorial on my YouTube channel. and it's supposed to be a series, but I like it's my life. I'm super busy and I haven't had the time to do more episodes, so it's only the first episode where I cover the basics of how to create and design your own brushes. And for that tutorial I made I created a brush from scratch. By that time I used to work with this one. That's the one that I used to do most of the time. And for that, let's see, this one. And to do that YouTube tutorial, then I created one from scratch, which is this one. And now it has become my new favorite. So that's the one that I use. So if you go and check that tutorial, you will see how I create this tutorial here, which is the one that I'm using to paint this guy. So yeah, there you go. Agvain, I always find that not liking one's own art is more beneficial than liking it, as it keeps you hungry to get better and achieve more. It keeps you coming back to the easy. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think like everything, there need to be a balance, right? So too much is not good. I mean, because it's also I mean, it's also important to be able to see when things are working, right? So it's a balance. But yeah, I agree that not to be all the time comfortable with what you do and with the results that you achieve. It's a good sign that you are aiming for higher and motivate. I mean, yeah, that means that you are learning. If you get to a point where you think that everything is perfect, that means that you have reached a plateau and you are stuck. So yeah. John Wei Lee, much appreciated. Well, no problem. My pleasure. All right, guys. I think I'm actually 30 minutes overdue. I'm super tired, so I'm gonna call it for today. Thanks a lot for joining. For all of you guys, for the usual the usual suspects, right? And all of you that just came for the first time, thanks a lot for joining. Have a good one, have a good week. Hopefully yeah, little by little, as I'm saying, I'm still planning and working on my Patreon and on my project, but hopefully I will be able to start sharing some things, some lights on what to expect from it, which I cannot wait to do that. And give a lot of love and support to Juan Toledano, that he is doing the amazing and hard work of doing the subtitles and translation for the tutorial of the how to paint Space Marines. So yeah, have a good one, stay safe and healthy, paint and draw a lot, have fun, and see you next time. Bye bye, take care.